All right, here we go. We are live, back to full strength. I am Sam. We got Vince. We got Tyler. We got Tim on the ones and twos. Back at the home office, which is a tin can. Tyler, how are you, buddy?
Oh man, I am on top of the world
Sure you
right
are.
now, and I do want to say, Vince, how was Disneyland? I know that you've been slimming down there. My wife noticed on the old Instagram there, so congratulations. You look great.
Thanks.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm down. Let's see, 57 pounds already.
Congratulations, man.
I had a really high number to start at, so it's a little tough to notice sometimes, but yeah, I'm noticing some stuff. Yeah, yeah.
How was it walking around Disneyland and being like, God, I want to eat all of it?
I did eat all of it. I gained
Oh
weight
yeah.
back. No, but I mean, I went down there down 55 pounds. I came back, I was, down 52 pounds. And so I've worked back and lost the extra 7 or so since, or 5 since. So, yeah,
I'm right there
having
with you,
fun
man.
though. Yeah, it's great.
I think when I came back from Maui, I'm still feeling the effects. I think I gained like an extra 20, 25 pounds that I didn't need. So I'm right there with you, man. I gotta cut back a little bit here.
Oh, I did. I made up for it though. When I was down there, I did like almost 26,000 steps one day, 21 the next day, and then 25K the
Nice.
following day. So I worked for that food. I earned those churros. God damn it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I lost a couple of pounds and then went ham over the weekend, and I'm still like, oh God. Nothing but salads all week.
I know. Gear up for another week of football and eating the grossest
I
food
know.
possible.
Spread that peanut butter real thin on your PB&J sandwich or something.
PB&J, no bread.
Yes.
Vince, we're both hurting today.
Yeah.
So before we talk about our teams, let's get some scores.
Yeah.
Well, before we get the scores in, just want to let everyone know you are listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and Threads.
It really helps us out. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Thanks for getting that in. Important to hit that.
And we are legal, as they say on the radio.
We are legal. All right. So for the main slate on Sunday, we're going to talk about our team specifically, but I'm just going to read off all the scores right now. Eagles over the Saints 15-12. Broncos over the Buccaneers in a shocker 26-7. The Steelers beat the Chargers 20-10. The Vikings are for real. They beat Houston 34-7. Packers over the Titans 30-14. The Colts beat the Bears 21-16. The Giants turned the Browns into fraudulent people like I thought they were, 21-15. Panthers beat the Raiders 36-22. Seahawks over the Dolphins 24-3. Ravens over the Cowboys 28-25, although the Ravens sure tried like hell to give them the win. The Lions beat the Cardinals 20-13, and the Rams beat the Niners 27-24. For your primetime games, the Jets on Thursday night beat the Patriots 24-3. Sunday night football had Kansas City squeaking by Atlanta 22-17. And then Monday night football right now, both games are at commercial, but the Jaguars and the Bills started at 4:30 Pacific time, and the Commanders at the Bengals just started about 20 minutes ago. Last I saw, the Bills were up about like 20-6 or 20-3 or something like that. And the Bengals.
Trevor Lawrence just threw a pick. So
okay. So here's the scores. So it's 20-3. Buffalo is on top of Jacksonville, and then it's 7-7 Washington versus Cincinnati. So yeah, so we got some dogfights. We got some fantasy football implications in both of these games too. So that's a lot of fun. All right. So there's your score update. I guess who wants to go first? Do we let Tyler go first since he's all in a chipper mood about his boys? Let's do that. Go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
Well, before I jump into my Sunday, I did have someone ask me what my reaction was and if I had brought it up on the podcast last Monday. And I did not, because obviously we were filming and I didn't get to watch the game till after we were done with the podcast. But to express my feelings about week 2 going into week 3, I was very frustrated. I felt that the world was coming to an end as I know it of this offense that I knew to be electric just 2 years ago. I think Vic Fangio's defense to me was questionable. We had no pressures, no sacks. We let Kirk look like he was QB number 1 and MVP of the league, and I was very frustrated with that. Our offense looked stale pretty much the whole entire game, and we deserved to lose that game, and we did. Now, with that being said, going into week 3, I didn't really have the highest hopes going against the team that had scored 80 points in 2 games. They were hot. The Saints are a hot team, and we were going to New Orleans on top of that. So, look, I still think that there's some questionable calls by Nick Sirianni. You take the 2 field goals before the half, then you're up by 6. This game isn't a dogfight that you have to win in the last 2 minutes of a game. And that was kind of the thing against Atlanta too, was that you take the field goals, you're up by 6. Now you don't have to try and stress and worry after you kick that field goal at the end of the game. Then it puts you up by 9. Who cares if they score a touchdown, with the Falcons? So there's some questionable calls that our head coach does. I know his MO is to go for it on fourth almost every play, but sometimes, man, just take the points that are given you. It's there. We have one of the best kickers in the league. He had 2 chip shots, and the one kick you make him do was a 51-yard field goal that he obviously misses way right. There's some things that just need to be worked out on that retrospect. But Vic Fangio has since kind of changed his tune a little bit. He went into a Bear 5 defense, umbrella cover defense that he's known for. But that Bear 5 defense did bring out some great pressure. Jalen Carter was all world. I believe if he's not defensive player of the week this week, I don't know who will be. He was absolutely everywhere. There was some questionable tackles during that game, and I put it on the list here, and I'll just bring it out right now. Devontae Smith goes out with a concussion. I say it's a dirty hit from Christian Boyd because he came full speed, and they say he hit his back, but, man, he was crowning. I mean, he had that helmet out, and he was trying to take him out. He already had 3 guys on him. There was no need to do that. If anything, I do believe that's more on the refs blow that dead, so that doesn't happen. But the one that's really questionable, on top of that, the Devontae Smith, so the Christian Boyd thing, this is where I think it's dirty. He hits Devontae Smith, knocks him out, and as he gets up, he spits on him.
Ooh.
Absolutely unquestionable. I hope the officials see that. I hope NFL sees that, fines him, suspends him, whatever they got to do. That's the one that really pissed me off about that. The Darius Slay incident, he got caught being blocked by Trevor Penning, the offensive lineman for the Saints. The play's done, but Penning is still holding on to Slay and runs Slay into the Saints bench, literally runs him into it and almost breaks his leg. So I think that's also very dirty. To me, it just brought up things of Saints pass. Saints going to just Saints, Bounty Gate will stick over their heads. I don't care if it was 10 years ago. You don't show any reason that you've changed. Zebras don't lose their stripes. The last thing that was brought up was that Lane Johnson, our all-world guard, had a concussion. He's out. I don't know if he really had a concussion. When they announced, they said he was sick coming into the game, and then when he left, he was throwing up everywhere. So I don't know if he more or less had a concussion. Then he's just dealing with a really bad flu, and they just did it as a concussion protocol just to get him out of the game. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't just say he has a flu and won't come back, but I fully expect Lane Johnson to recover and be back next week. Devontae Smith, a little questionable. We'll see if he comes back, but all in all, man, I'm happy to get the win. I need to up my Bayer heart medication, but I'll take it, man. 2-1 is better than being 1-2 at this point for me. And the Cowboys lost too, so that's also another win for me. So,
yeah, Penning has a history of playing after the whistle.
Yeah, a little too hard, buddy.
And you could see right after that, his fellow linemen were chirping at him. So I think he was kind of on an island because the play is dead, man. Like now you're hurting your team. That was a terrible play on him.
Yep. So
Who's next?
Rochambeau for you boys.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'll go. Let's as I was watching the game at the very end, I was thinking about the cinematic masterpiece, The Wedding Singer, where Robbie is singing the song "Somebody Kill Me, Please." Yeah, that was basically me at the end of there. That was not fun at all to watch at the end. Like you're up 14 at 2 different points, and uh, I knew it was not going to be quite as easy when, obviously Christian McCaffrey hasn't been there the whole season yet. But then you lose Debo and then you lose Kittle to a late hamstring injury during the week. As soon as like that news broke, I think that was like Thursday, maybe even Friday. When that news broke, I was like, "Oh Lord, this might be a little bit tougher." Juwan Jennings had a hell of a day. He scored every touchdown, and that's not an exaggeration. There were 3 touchdowns. He got all 3 of them. So that's obviously a bright spot. I feel like though that the team was dropping a lot of passes. Ronnie Bell especially. He's somebody that he barely made the roster, man. Like he was the last wide receiver in. And when you're the last guy in, you can't afford to keep dropping passes. I think the team had something like 6 drops, and Brock Purdy only had like 7, I think like 8 or 9 incompletions. So like, and Brock was like doing the work. I mean, you can only put the ball in the guy's hands so many times, right? I mean, that last drop though in the fourth quarter that would have kept the drive going, and then ended up that drop ended up leading to the field goal attempt that was missed, and then the Rams ended up tying the game, and then you punt the ball later after another drop, and it's frustrating because you had the win. There was no excuse. That was wrapped up. Even with the Moody missed field goal, you still had every opportunity to close this game out, and you couldn't do it. So you're 1-2 right now. This is starting to feel, with the injuries that I'm going to get to in a second, this is starting to feel a little 2020-ish for me. Because that was the year after the Super Bowl, the loss to the Chiefs. I mean, it rhymes a little bit. History rhymes like a motherfucker, doesn't it? You get all these injuries, and it's Brandon Ayuk. He held out of camp the entire year, I mean, off season because of the whole contract thing. He has not looked good at all, and I think he probably could have used some of those camp reps. And this is almost just another case like that the front offices can look to and saying, no, we're not going to negotiate with you or whatever. Like, why are we going to pay you the money? Because you're not going to perform those first few weeks anyway. It also could be a case to try to get it done before camp starts, so it kind of goes both ways there a little bit.
I think the parity of the situation is that the Eagles, I think, were almost in a similar situation last week compared to what you were dealing with. But I think the glaring difference is that I do think the West is a little bit tougher than we maybe anticipated. I know the Cardinals didn't show up, but
right. No,
I mean everyone looks pretty solid. Where like the East over here is, I mean, Cowboys.
Yeah, so I don't know that the Niners are going to win the 1 seed. Obviously, like I had predicted. But I did that because that's my team. Of course, I'm going to do it.
Sure.
Until they give me a reason not to. And they're starting to give me a reason not to a little bit. CMC went to Germany to see a specialist for his Achilles injury. That was announced earlier today by Kyle Shanahan. So he went over the weekend to do that. So that's a bit scary.
That's terrifying, like that. Man. I feel like the next news is going to be he's going to get the surgery.
Yeah,
it's going to be a Kobe Bryant surgery.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just at least Jordan Mason has looked pretty damn good in replacement, but like obviously he's no CMC. Nobody's CMC. Like Christian McCaffrey is a special talent, and not having him there is a detriment. There's no 2 ways about it. It doesn't matter who his replacement is, and Jordan Mason has done a hell of a job so far, but he's just he can't do like all the things that CMC does. So
sure.
We're missing him, and I hope that he's able to come back from this. I'm gonna wait and see what the specialist in Germany has to say before I try to like get CMC on the cheap. from some of my other leagues. But I'm really worried now. Javon Hargrave had probably his best game of the year, and now he's done for the year probably for a torn triceps injury. So I hate that. And then Brock Purdy had an MRI on his back, and he's listed as day-to-day right now. So these injuries are starting to pile up, and I'm not feeling good, especially when your starting quarterback has a back issue. Like we saw, like Stafford had that problem, a couple years ago, and it's just if Brock Purdy's not able to go, I'm really worried. And like I said, this is giving me echoes of 2020 so far. Like the injuries are really mounting up.
Who is the 49ers backup right now?
The backup quarterback?
So if Brock can't go, who is it?
Is it the Pasternaut? I don't even know. Like I haven't looked at the depth chart. It's the Pasternaut. Joshua Dobbs.
Oh wow.
So I love that for us. This is just I'm worried, man. I'm like, this is like it's scary. I don't like it. So Joshua Dobbs, and then Brandon Allen is your third string quarterback. It looks like they got somebody on the practice squad. Benkert. He's here in a picture.
Oh, I know that kid.
Benkert, yeah.
He was he's really famous on YouTube because he does a lot of Madden football games, but he was already a 49ers backup QB, a Packers backup QB, and I think he backed up somewhere else. So he's familiar with Shanahan's system.
The picture of him is actually in a Packers uniform, even though he's currently on the Niners roster. I would assume in practice squad. But yeah, so I am genuinely worried right now. This is I'm not hitting the panic button, but I know where the panic button is. And I'm keeping my one eye on it.
And who do they play against next week?
So I believe they have the Patriots next week. So that's, like that's not a great team, but they do play hard. So it's not going to be completely easy. But this is not awesome. The defense is good, at least in New England. The offense is shit, but
I don't mean to steer it my way, but we talked about it last week. Is you cannot look past teams, and you cannot look past the New England Patriots, because before you know it, they just punched you in the mouth.
Yep,
and you're 1-3 or whatever.
Yeah, the Rams were like the get right game for Shanahan. I think this is
and
only
the
49ers,
second time. Other than the playoff game,
loss. Yeah.
Other than that playoff game,
yeah,
Shanahan's owned them in the regular season.
Yeah, this is only his second regular season loss to the Rams. Basically since Sean McVay took over. So this is this was probably the wake up call. For the Hall of Fame talent level players that we have, like Fred Warner and Tenelo Hufanga and Trent Williams too. Like he took a couple of penalties. He didn't look too great. He had some issues as well. Just like overall, the whole team needed a wake up call, I believe. And I guess thanks Levi South for giving it to us. So we'll see. It's it is what it is. That stadium was 70% Niners fans. That's Levi South, but
yeah.
Whose house? Niners house. Ignore the signs.
Well, now we get to come down this other dark and disastrous road.
Oh my God. Guys, going in Friday night, I felt like got a good chance. You're at home. And then Sunday morning, I woke up, my eyes flicker, the sunlight coming through the window and the curtains. And I'm like, oh yeah, football today. And I just did not feel it. I woke up in my bones and I knew. And here's the reason why. When the Raiders, the destiny around the Raiders, right? Your destiny was in your own hands, and the Raiders position for 20 plus years. Just last year, right? The Rams. The Rams don't even have a quarterback. Baker Mayfield gets off the airplane, shows up, doesn't even practice, and kicks your butt. So it's just constant. You got your destiny within your hands. You can control what happens. And you didn't even show up to your own home opener. You didn't show up. Opening drive, you get punched in the mouth. Okay, offense, you march down the field, you tie it at 7. And then you give it right back up. So this game, offense, defense, showed they got nothing to hang their hat on after that game. The offensive line is broken. You can't pass the ball. You can't run. I think your defense was just so overextended from the previous games that they were just running on empty. They never had a chance. Aiden O'Connell passed towards the end of the game in garbage time. So the game was further away than what the score indicates. And to lose like that to a Carolina team, and we know that teams get a bump when they change head coaches. They get a bump if they go to their backup quarterback. I fully expect Carolina to descend next game, and they're going to be garbage again. You had one job to do and win this game, and the rest of the season was in your control. After the game, you hear Antonio made business decisions, and we're going to make business decisions. What does that mean? Because he's not naming players. I think what it means is Luke Getsy, week 4, is already on the hot seat. Because the one thing that you were doing well, Gardner Minshew threw some interceptions, but you were able to move the ball via the pass. Your offensive line cannot block whatsoever. So that was the one thing they had going for them, was passing the ball. They didn't do that. I think ultimately this whole business decision comment is about players showing up at the home opener, not really willing, eager to play. It looked like they had no interest in being there. So I think what Antonio Pierce is talking about is these guys quit at the open whistle and never woke up. What does that mean long term? I see some guys get benched. I think you'll see some guys get cut. And I think you're going to see that throughout the season. I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Getsy loses his job this season. It just does not look anything remote close to what a professional team should look like. The offensive line was good last year. They look broken, and it's a majority of the same players coming back, and it just looks broken.
I got a quick question about that. With the departure of Josh Jacobs, is it possible that he made the offensive line look a little bit better just by being an exceptional talent? And then you got Zamir White, who is mid, who can't do the things that Josh Jacobs does, and maybe they're just getting exposed more, or is it just
I think it's a little bit of both. They did change the scheme, so the blocking scheme is different. Josh Jacobs is a totally different runner.
Right.
Jacobs he's a power runner. He can get outside. He's a 3-down back. But he can also cut. Zamir White he's not going to do a whole lot of cutting. He's a downhill runner. Once he gets past the line, he's running guys over. He's not cutting. He's not shaking. He's not doing any moves. So they're not really comparable running backs.
Okay.
Miller's looked like absolute dog shit in these past 3 games.
I mean, Colton Miller looks awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. And I know he missed all of offseason, all of preseason, due to surgery, and it's a shoulder surgery. So could explain a lot. There's a lot of rust. But the offensive line just does not look like a quality unit whatsoever. And offensively, that's where it starts. It always starts at the line, especially when you want to be a team that's physical. I think it's kind of the same. You know, you got a game next week at home. You kind of got to get yourself up, motivated, and win the game. When the game is necessary, you can go 1-3 in your first 4 games. We know you go 1-2, 1-3, after the first quarter of the season, your odds of even having a chance at the playoffs is drastically cut. I thought this team would be a lot more competitive. I thought the days of not showing up to play football were potentially behind this team, and that's clearly not the case because it happened yesterday. I don't know what it is, guys. I've never seen a team year after year have not just one games of not getting off the plane, not waking up. Like, name another franchise that that does this when you can control your destiny. Even teams run into an accidental good year where they're just dominating.
Mhm.
We haven't even been an accident. Like, I don't know what it is. You got a new stadium. You got new locker rooms. Everything is brand new, but it's the same stink. Like, you can't wash it off. You know, Mark Davis, I'm not sitting here saying he's like the greatest owner ever, but he got you the stadium. You got all the new stuff. Anytime a head coach or a GM he's hired, he gives them whatever they want. He's not a football guy. He lets the football people run it. And I don't want to go back and revisit, but like the John Gruden thing, who the hell saw that happening? Like, maybe you could say we thought John Gruden was going to get fired, but how he got fired, that was out of left field. Then you go to McDummy, and that was historically bad. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm baffled about what it is. And where do you go? Pick yourself up, fight hard. Hopefully you go 2-2 and you go from there. But not really anything positive to hang your hat on after this week. That was ugly.
Yeah. Just a quick score update. Buffalo is now up 34-3 on Jacksonville. And Austin Eckler just ran in a touchdown as well. So Washington is up on Cincinnati's 14-7. So with that, I think it's time to make some picks for next week. And
Yeah.
Tyler, you're running this part of the show, yeah?
I certainly am. Tim, give me a thumbs up. Can I share my screen? Is that gonna be okay for you? It's
No.
not gonna be okay.
No. So we'll
Okay.
let's just rip through them then.
Good. I just want to let you guys know, since we are now picking this up on this week here, we are currently all 7-7. So
Nice.
not a single one of us got an advantage over each other. So
All right. Well, I mean, yeah. So
again,
that was-
it's not going to change because we all picked the Bills and we all picked the Bengals. So no matter what, we're going to be tied going into this. So let's jump
8-8, baby. Let's go.
let's jump into week 4 here, and the Thursday night stinker is the Cowboys versus the Giants. Sam, you are first. I will let you go.
Thursday night football, that is a stinker. I gotta take Dallas just based on talent on the roster.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. So I think Vince, you're going to go with the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, I am. On Thursday nights, you just have to pick talent and hope that they actually.
Daniel
show up.
Jones looked pretty good.
Yeah, that was his one game a year where he looks good. So that was it this past week. Anyway, moving on.
I'm just going to go to the Giants because they're my least threat out of the two here. So even though the Cowboys are god awful looking right now, anyone can run to them.
Picking with your dick instead of your head. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's Sunday morning games starting off here. Bengals versus the Panthers.
Bengals, Panthers. I got to go with the Bengals. Though. I mean, I think the Panthers definitely coming back to earth.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go Panthers. Fuck it.
Wow.
Yeah, red rifle. Let's go.
Did not see that coming.
Bengals could be 0-4 if they don't win this game here. Like they could be in a world of trouble, man.
Okay. We've got a burner down.
Who'd you go with?
I'm going with the Bengals, baby.
Oh, okay.
We've got a burner down in the dirty South. Saints versus the Falcons.
I'm going Saints. They played fairly competitive last week against the Eagles. They looked good the first 2 weeks. I don't think they're quite as good as they were the first 2 weeks, but I still think they can put up points. So I'll go with the Saints.
I'm actually going to go Falcons. I think the Saints were exposed as the frauds that they are, and right when everybody started to believe in Derek Carr showed up and showed why he's Derek Carr, and that's that's what happened. And so I'm going to pick Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm going Dirty Birds as well too. After what I just saw from the Saints this past Sunday and all the dirtiness that they're playing with, they can go fuck themselves. So Falcons all the way. Up next for me, or for us, I should say, Jaguars versus the Texans.
Texans.
Yeah,
Texans.
They're pissed.
Yeah,
They're going to take it out on somebody.
This is the buzzsaw theory. When a real good team loses when they shouldn't lose like that, the next team is going to get it, man.
I agree with you. All right. Up next on Sunday morning, get your cereal out. Broncos versus the Jets.
Jets, man.
Jets. Yeah.
We got no love for the Broncos. They
absolutely not. No.
What? All right. I too am going to Jets. So
yeah.
We got a good one here. A good old rivalry match. A good old cheese versus the horn here. Vikings versus the Packers in Lambeau.
Is Jordan Love back?
Yeah, that's the question.
He's questionable. I can't
you know what? That's where my pick hinges. If Jordan Love starts, the Packers win. If he doesn't, then I got the Vikings. I don't know how you want to put that in the thing, but that's my God on his pick.
All right, we'll do this. We'll put Vikings. If I can change the rules up over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like we're picking games when for week 4 when week 3 is still technically happening. So like I got to draw the line somewhere, man. Like that's an important enough position. It's not like I'm asking about the backup right tackle, like I'm asking about the starting quarterback who's a Pro Bowl caliber player. So
I don't know. Willis looked really good. I'm just saying, their backup quarterback looked pretty damn good.
He got out of Tennessee and he looked okay.
Didn't Sam Darnold get hurt too?
Oh yeah, he's he has a bruise or something is what they said. So they expect he'll be fine.
You know what? I'm going Vikings, man.
Okay. I am also gonna go with the sweet Dick Darnold train and go Vikings as well. So no contingency plans for me on that one.
All right, fine.
Up next,
Fucking
we've
rule
got
bender.
We've got Steelers versus the Colts. Are we going bleed?
Steelers, man, they're like
let's weld or bleed blue.
Oh,
I feel like the Colts are always a really good roster, and then they can't do shit. And every time I want to believe in them, they fuck it up. So
I'll say this: Anthony Richardson looked raw. Like he looked like he took a step backwards.
Here's the thing with Richardson: he only completes half of his passes, and that's not me exaggerating. It's literally like 50% completion percentage.
Yeah.
He can hit all the difficult passes, but it's those easy ones. I don't know. He brain farts and the little out routes, little dump offs. He fucking misses wildly on those. So that's why he has a 50% completion percentage. I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Okay. What are you going with here?
I said Steelers. Yep.
Oh, okay. I am too going to go with the Steelers. And the only reason why I say that is because there was some game tape. Look, I hope he watches it and doesn't freak out the next game here. But honestly, he looked good for the Steelers, man. Like he looked competent. And
last week, just field goals.
Yeah, I know.
Was a passer yesterday.
Yeah, he looked competent. He looked like he was making the right reads. He was picking up blitzes. He was hitting tight windows. So hopefully there's more of that to come. But and plus too, it's just sweet to see that Wilson got signed and hasn't been able to see the field once for this team. So I'm kind of liking that too. Up next, the Rams versus the Bears.
I got to go with the Rams. The Bears look
They got a W. He looked good.
kind
He
of.
passed like 27 of 34 passes.
The sacks, dude. They get
Their
give up
O-line
so
is
many
terrible.
sacks.
The O-line is terrible. I will give you that. But it's not like the Rams O-line is any better.
No, but I got to think Sean McVay, being the head coach that he is going to dial up his offense to take advantage of the Bears defense and do enough to confuse the young quarterback, because he had a decent game, not a good game. I think it's a decent game.
Sure.
I don't think he's done anything. So I think Caleb Williams is going to be really good. I just don't think not in this game.
So it's Bears Rams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams.
Rams? Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to go opposite. I'm going to go Bears, man. They're in Chicago.
Dub Bears.
I think some little home cooking and some magic coming their way. I think the Bears might pull an upset. To be an upset at home is wild too. All right, up next. Obviously, you guys know who I'm going to pick in this one, but Eagles versus the Bucks in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you steal points from me. I'm taking the Eagles too.
I got to take the Eagles there.
Alrighty. And then, Vince, I'm on this train with you. Up next, we have Patriots versus 49ers.
It's Niners, yeah.
Got to take the Niners.
Alrighty. The 2 C's coming up next. Commanders versus the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I agree with you guys. Man, I really wish, the Commanders were just somewhat competent. I mean, they got this new ownership, and it just seems like they're taking steps backwards.
But they got a lot of young players. It's going to take some time for that to gel.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're still adding to the roster. I still think the Commanders are like 3 years away from being good.
Did you hear that the Indian chief that was his face was on the
Yeah.
Redskins? He asked for, well, at least I don't know if it was him, but his family was asking to have him put back on there, to have that back, because
Right, yeah. But the problem, the chief itself, I don't love it, but that's not the biggest problem. It's the name that came along with it. That was
Sure.
the problem. That's the real issue. And I don't want to dig deeper into that than we have to. We got to move on. We've already spent, a lot of time on football as it is. So let's move on. But yeah.
No worries. All right, up next. I'm kind of curious what he's going to pick. Chiefs versus the Chargers.
Chiefs.
There you go. Thinking with his brain and not his head.
What?
I was wondering
What
if
do you
Sam was going to pick the Chargers and be
Oh.
like, fuck the
Oh, yeah.
Chiefs.
Fuck no. The Chargers
dumb.
are like
They're not ready. Let's say that. Yeah, that's the nice way of saying it. They're not ready yet.
I too am going with the Chiefs on that one. Up next, I have to believe that he's going to go this route, but Browns versus the Raiders.
at home. You just got your ass dragged through the mud. If you don't win this game, you don't deserve to win any game this season. It's a fucking must win at week 4. I got to take the Raiders, but it's a fucking must win. Otherwise, heads are rolling.
It also helps that Deshaun Watson is trash. In both on the field and off the field. So that helps. That helps your cause. You know what? I'll solidarity. Yeah, I'll pick the Raiders this time.
In solidarity, huh?
Yeah, in solidarity with my buddy.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
God, man, the Browns lost so bad to the Giants. They made
They're
Daniel Jones
fraudulent.
look great. Look, I
knew they were frauds. I called it, and this is just proof point 1.
Yeah, they didn't prove to me that they could come down to Las Vegas and show the Raiders what's up. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Always.
Up next, we have Bills versus the Ravens. That's gonna be a good game. That's your Sunday night game.
I gotta take the Buffalo Bills. They're putting it on right now.
Yeah.
The Ravens look like they don't want to win a game. Bills.
Yeah. Until the Ravens give me a reason to pick them, I'm gonna go Bills.
I think being in Baltimore, Sunday night game, lights of the brightest. King Henry showed out last week. This past Sunday. I'm gonna go Ravens. I think I think they just have enough talent to beat Josh Allen here, who is literally the whole entire team. A Monday night, Titans versus the Dolphins. God, that's a stinker.
Jesus.
This game was a lot easier before a certain concussion happened.
Yeah.
Will Levis, but Nanners looks like shit, man. Like every week there's some ridiculous picture of him just being doing something boneheaded, you know.
Well, I think Skyler got hurt for the Dolphins. I think he's
He did.
questionable.
Like a chest injury.
So
Did they pick up Tannehill off the
No,
the-
who was it? Jacoby Brissett or something?
no, Brisket's
no, Brissett's
up in,
he's in New England.
he's in New England.
He just
They
got his
pick-
ass kicked on Thursday.
They picked up somebody from. They picked up some quarterback last week.
All I know I'm saying is just, you better call Joe Flacco and get him off that couch. You saw what he did with the Browns last season.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's currently the backup in Indianapolis, and they want to hang on to that because Anthony Richardson is mobile as fuck and is gonna get his ass knocked out at some point. So, yeah.
All right, I'll pick first. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins for the sake of my fantasy team because Tyreek Hill is on one of them, and God, I need him to do something other than just 6 points every week. I don't love that pick, but I need it to happen.
I'm gonna go Dolphins. I don't love it. I fully expect that I could be wrong there. Tyler Huntley is who you're thinking
Tyler
of.
Huntley. Tyler Huntley.
I had to look it up.
I mean, I would start him over, even though he only has a week of practice.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's gonna be Tim Boyle is the other quarterback that they have, so
Oh God!
I would expect
it?
Tyler Huntley's gonna
Dolphins.
get some playing time at some point.
Dolphins.
All right. Last on the Monday night here, Seahawks versus the Lions. And
Lions.
I'd say that, but Lions have been really questionable defensively this year. I don't know what you're going to pick, Sam, but I haven't picked my pick yet. But
I'm going Lions.
okay.
I haven't abandoned them yet. They're still giving up the big play. Got to fix it on defense.
Well, I want to go Lions because they're home. The Seahawks. You know what? I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Seahawks are good.
The reason why I'm gonna go Seahawks is because they're gonna get their number one running back, and Charbonnet has been quite excellent as far as year two of the situation here of being his backup and having to play big roles. So I think that 1-2 punch reminds me a little bit of Carolina back in the day. I'm gonna go Seahawks on this one here. So
Okay.
that is
And
it.
That's it for football. Let's move on to the W. So the WNBA playoffs are set. So we're just gonna talk real quick about it. I don't want to go too deep, but just give everybody just a little taste of what's coming and what's happened recently. So the 2024 unanimous MVP Asia Wilson, and she's on the Las Vegas Aces. They're gonna play the Seattle Storm, and let's see. So that series just took off yesterday. I didn't get a score for that, but
I've got that on there. Sorry, my fault.
no. So they're playing as the 4 seed. If they're going to win a third in a row, they're going to have to do it from the 4 seed against the Seattle Storm. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, they worked their way up to the 6th seed. They're playing the Connecticut Sun in the first round. All of these series are best of 3, so you got to win 2. If you lose the first one, you're in a world of hurt, right? So let's see. The Fever got the win. Is that what happened here?
They did.
No.
The Fever lost.
The Fever lost. Okay, so yeah, that was confusing the way you had it written in here. Game 1, Fever lost. Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye and had to leave with a black eye, apparently. So, something to look out for. The number 1 seed, New York Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu, the local product, is going to play the all-time leading rebounder, Tina Charles. She just got that in the Atlanta Dream. The Liberty got the big win. It was like 14-point win. And then Diana Taurasi gets one more chance to add to her GOAT resume. She's in the 7th seeded Phoenix Mercury. They're playing the Minnesota Lynx. So the Lynx got the win in game 1. Diana did say in her last regular season game to the crowd, if this is the last time it felt like the first time, she said to the crowd, like at the last regular season home game. So this could be it for her. She's been playing since I was in college. So long time, obviously one of the greatest of all time, and we'll see what happens here. One more WNBA note: they announced that they're going to expand some more. So they're going back to Portland. It's going to be the 15th team in the league, and they're going to play in 2026 alongside Toronto. The Golden State Valkyries will be starting in 2025 next year. So you're adding 3 teams over the next 2 years, and the league has also said they're going to add a 16th team by 2028 at the latest. Philly, Denver, Nashville, Miami, and Charlotte are all in consideration at this point. So the league is seizing on this moment. Women's sports are on the up and up, and they're trying to get it into as many markets as possible. But you want to do it the right way as well, and make sure that you have the right markets identified. So that's.
I don't know if you guys saw this about they've already sold 17,000 season tickets.
Yeah.
So.
The 17,000 deposits on season tickets, I think, is the official verbiage. But yeah, so and that's a record for North American women's sports.
Yeah.
So I will say for the WNBA, 2 things have happened that have exponentially helped them out. One being Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And 2 being COVID. People had nothing to do, so they were watching WNBA games.
We talked about it last year or even earlier this year. We talked about it. Yeah, that's very good points right there. Let's you get a superstar coming into the league, and then people started watching more women's basketball a couple years ago, and just keeps growing, and it is exponential growth at this point. And they just signed a new media deal too, a couple like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago as well. So it's a good time. When the league gets to 16, it would be the first time since 2002 that the league was at 16 teams, and that was the previous high water mark. But then the league had to fold like 2 or 3 of those teams, including a Portland team before. So this is Portland's second chance at a team, and I think it's probably going to work out a lot better this time, just because you get better owners and everything. So a couple more notes in basketball. On Wednesday, we got the final Woj bomb. Adrian Wojnarowski retiring from the News, and he's going to be the general manager at St. Bonaventure University men's basketball team.
His alma mater. Very random, by the way.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to make a jump like this, I think it kind of makes sense to go to St. Bonaventure. Like they are a Division I school, but they're not. They're a mid-major as we call them. So
I read that
really,
I read one of the big things was the NIL that I guess the college has approached Woj before, but the big thing was now that NIL is available, so can get paid essentially, and Woj is connected to the media and all these things, so that was apparently part of the decision as well.
Sure,
so.
Makes sense.
Got my light working again.
Finally. There you
go. Needed to charge it up a bit. All right. And then the other note, Joel Embiid and Philadelphia agreed to a 5-year, $301 million max extension with a player option for the 2028-29 season. Get your bag.
Absolutely.
So, get your bag, and you just guaranteed Philadelphia that you will not win a championship.
I wasn't trying to say that. I was trying to be nice, but yeah.
You got your money though.
You got your bag, Okay, let's switch gears to hockey, I guess. Training camp opened up on Thursday. This is all going to be Sharks hockey updates. So we updated the logo a little bit to make it Sharks news and notes instead of just hockey news and notes. Look what I did.
There we go.
All the magic. All right. So Sunday they had their first preseason game. They took the loss 4-2 against Vegas. But Celebrini got his first preseason goal and assist. The goal came on the power play, and it was a nice little snipe right past the goalie, man. It was a little give and go. He passes it back up to the point sends it right back to him, and he just one times it right past him. It was nice.
Even the
So-
assist was nice. There was a guy on Reddit that was sitting damn near a glass side, and man, it was a rocket. Like I had to watch it 3 times to see if it was an assist or him shooting the goal. It was fast, man.
Mhm.
So he's definitely got you got Hawkeyes, man. He's got some good vision. I that made
Yeah.
me even more excited for this season to start.
Yeah, I think we got a good one. So
Yeah.
that's promising. I like what I've seen so far. Head coach Ryan Warsofsky announced that Logan Couture will continue to serve as captain for the Sharks. He's had the title since the 2019-2020 season. So also the first season that we've sucked in a long time. So he's been the captain for the entirety of this bad string, unfortunately, and it was been bad for him as well. He only played 6 games last year because of this injury, and I don't think he's going to be playing any games this year or possibly ever again either. But he will continue to serve as captain for this season at least. And if he
Yeah,
makes
he's
it back,
probably
right?
captain until he's not on the team anymore. I think this
Right,
is
yeah.
just
Yeah. So until
Tip
he
of the cap.
retires. Yeah, totally. So as far as your the guys that are going to be wearing A's on their chest, Mario Ferraro will continue to serve as alternate captain, and he's going to be joined by for home games, Tyler Toffoli and Barclay Goodrow will serve as alternate captains, and then on the road games, Mikael Granlund and Luke Cunnin will be the alternate captains for those games. So, and if Logan comes back, then they'll have to have a new problem to figure out who gets to wear, wear the letters then at that point. But so that's your leadership group for this year. The Sharks also announced earlier today that they're going to do another Legends game on November 22nd. That's the Friday night right before the Joe Thornton jersey retirement game. Many former Sharks players are expected to attend and play. They have they released a preliminary list of all kinds of players.
Is Jonathan
Guys
Chichu on
from-
there?
Jonathan Chichu is on there. I mean, you're looking at guys from Patrick Marleau to Alexei Semenoff and everyone in between, man. So this is a wide range of former Sharks players are going to come for this game. It's going to be a lot of fun to see, and I'm going to be having a great time at November 23rd because I do got tickets for that game. I'm going to the Jumbo game, and that was not cheap, but it's worth it, man. I'm going to have a great time there. But yeah, so there's our hockey update, I guess, unless you guys got anything else.
So the Sharks cut 13 players, most notably Aaron Dell. Obviously, Aaron Dell wasn't going to make the roster anyways.
Right,
But
yeah.
does that mean that Askarov is healthy and is probably going to be up there right away?
I think he's right now. He's going to be the third goalie right now because
so they'll
Aaron
probably
Dell was
split
like
between-
Aaron Dell was just a camp body.
Right.
He wasn't going to actually make any team. But yeah. So Askarov is going to end up probably starting the year with the Barracuda, but he's going to be the first man up if and when an injury or a trade happens.
You hear that, boys? Time to get our $19 tickets.
Yeah.
That's right. Now's the time. See some push-ups, in person.
Yeah, that's all I had on that one. So
All right.
curious.
Cool. Let's switch gears to soccer then. Let's start with Wrexham Saturday against Crawleytown. They get the win 2-1.
Yeah.
16 points, tied for first in EFL 1. They get another game against Leyton Orient. What'd you think of the game?
Man, I got to actually watch it. It's so nice. Shout out Mom again for Paramount Plus. No, I got to watch the game again, and literally I was doing something, so I logged off for a second, logged back into Paramount. In less than 2 seconds, they scored the go-ahead goal, and I was perfect timing. So, anyways, they were tied for first with Tom Brady's team. So that's something to discuss about too, that he's also a part of this. But hey, top 2 teams move up. So I don't care if he's tied for first with us throughout the whole entire rest of the season. If we remain this way, perfect. I'd love to see it.
Right.
And fuck Tom Brady.
Fuck you, Tim Brandy. Okay, let's now come back home to Bay FC. On Friday night, they played the Orlando Pride. That's the #1 team in the league. They have not lost all year, and they continued to not lose. They get the win against Bay FC 1-0. And that one goal came in the 84th minute. So Bay FC held up really good for a long, long time. It's just a little bit of magic from one of the best players in the league, Barbara Banda. Carson Pickett floated a ball into the box from just past midfield. Banda then headed it right past the Bay FC's goalkeeper, Caitlin Rowland, from about 10 yards out. And that's your scoring update. That's what happened there. That loss drops them down to 9th. They do have 8 wins and 1 draw. The upcoming game is against the Seattle Reign on Saturday at 3 p.m. But just a quick standings check on the NWSL. Bay FC has 25 points. That is Racing Louisville also has 25, but because of goal differential, Racing Louisville is a +1 on the goal differential. Bay FC is -8. So so it's pretty rough. They're not going to win any tiebreakers. So you got to have 8th place clean. Otherwise otherwise it's not going to happen. So so they got to get a win. Seattle Reign is currently in 11th place. They're at 20 points. So if you get the win against Seattle in their at their field up there in Seattle, that basically eliminates them at this point. There's 26 games in the season. There will only be 4 games left after this upcoming week. So it's getting real close. And you can eliminate a team with a win. And so you got to go out and get it done, at this point. There's a couple other NWSL notes while we're here. Trinity Rodman left the game with back spasms in the 78th minute. They used a wheelchair to get her to the locker room. She was seen later on the bench with ice on her back, so they're hopeful that she avoided something serious. She had back issues in the past, so something to keep an eye on at the very least. And then Gotham FC defender Kelly O'Hara sustained a season-ending knee injury. She had previously announced in May that she was going to retire, so her last game has already been played. A little bit of symmetry. Her first game with the U.S. women's national team was the same time as Alex Morgan's back in 2010 in March. And then her last game was the same day as Morgan's last game just a couple weeks ago on the 8th. So and they're both really close friends as well. So there was actually I think Kelly put a screen cap of a text message showing that specific stat on Twitter, and then just her saying, "Call me so we can cry about this together," to Alex Morgan. So it's a beautiful moment between 2 longtime friends and all world talented athletes. So that's a nice little moment. Let's move on to a angry little moment.
Hey, Vince.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's fuck John Fisher o'clock, baby.
All right, boys. I have turned on my purple light. I'm on a Brody Brazil this here for a second here.
Okay, yeah.
So before we get into this whole thing, dipshit John Fisher released a statement today.
Yes, he did. I love my phrasing there.
I'm gonna go ahead and just read it all out, and this is my first time reading it, so here we go. All right, he said, "To our Oakland Athletic fans, this upcoming series with the Texas Rangers will be the final game of the A's storied 57 years in Oakland. And while the A's previously played in Philadelphia and Kansas City, Oakland has been home for the greatest era in the franchise more than 123-year history."
Yeah, it's the longest period. They were home in Oakland longer than any other city too. Okay.
Yep. 4 World Series championships, 6 pennants, and 17 division titles, 7 Baseball Hall of Famers, which were none from this era, Charlie Finley and his mule, Billy Ball, Reggie and his incomparable swagger, Raleigh and his handlebar mustache, Dave Stewart and the stare, Bill King's holy Toledo, Ricky the greatest leadoff hitter in baseball history. The list goes on and on.
The list ended in the 90s there, oddly enough. That's interesting.
None of the things he mentioned were highlights of the ownership era that he's a part of.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll
he seriously highlighted everything.
Yeah, this is he.
Yeah. We'll keep going.
Highlighted. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Triumphs, near misses, the 1989
Loma Prieta.
Prieta, thank you. Earthquake in Game 3 of the Bay Bridge series, the 20-game win streak, a Hollywood movie, and an unmatched cast of players, coaches, and fans. We've had it all. Okay, interesting. And that I know is
Could
what
have had
makes
it
our
all.
departure so very hard. Now, this is where the meat of the whole thing comes in.
Well, so far you just read an AI statement about what's happened.
So here we go. The A's are part of the fabric of Oakland, the East Bay, and the entire Bay Area. When Lou Wolf and I bought the team in 2005, our dream was to win World Series championships and build a new ballpark in Oakland. Over the next 18 years, we did our very best to make that happen. Sorry,
Fuck you did.
my showrunner here is doing jerk off motions. We proposed and pursued 5 different locations in the Bay Area, and despite mutual and ongoing efforts to get a deal done for the Howard Terminal project, we came up short. Only in 2021, after 16 years of working exclusively on developing a home in the Bay Area and faced with a binding MLB agreement to find a new home by 2024, do we begin to explore taking the team to Las Vegas.
It was binding because he was going to lose his money from revenue sharing, and
it was he's had 3 binding grants, but that's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, binding is nothing. Anyway.
Yeah. There are millions of dedicated and passionate A's fans in Oakland and around the world. Countless dedicated staff members and Oakland Coliseum employees have poured their hearts into this team, and their efforts have meant so much to our community. I know there is a great disappointment, even bitterness, though I wish I could speak to each and every one of you individually. You could have. I can tell you this from the heart. We tried. Staying in Oakland was our goal. It was our mission, and we failed to achieve it. And for that, I am genuinely sorry. Wow, this is really pissed me off. Looking ahead,
South Park on like laying on the couch. We're sorry.
Yeah. Looking ahead, I hope you will join our beloved A's as we move forward on this amazing journey. I hope I will see you again sporting the green and gold, and I hope we all make you proud. John Fisher. Wow. That's my first time reading it, and that last 2 paragraphs was absolutely fucking torture. Jesus Christ, dude. Just having zero pulse on the situation.
Everything said is a fucking lie.
Wow. That
18
sucks.
years of trying bullshit. You announced San Jose without a plan. That's done. Oh, we're going to Fremont. No plan. Fremont didn't want you. They had no money for you. That's done. Then you announced Laney College without talking to the college, without talking to the city, the county. You announced that you're going to demolish a fucking college and build a stadium there. That doesn't happen. So then you announce Howard Terminal. Then the city, there is still money associated with Howard Terminal. They are now taking offers for it to be redeveloped. This is from the Port Authority, because there's federal money and state money still going to that site, regardless the fuck of the A's are there or not.
2 years ago, we said it's gonna be. It's gonna
all lies.
Yeah,
it's all lies. And if this guy truly tried and it's exhausted, why not somebody who can get it over the hump in Oakland? Why do you have to move the fucking team? Because there are owners who want the team in Oakland. There are ownership groups that been wanting to buy and keep them in Oakland. It's you don't need to do a deep dive into the internet. You can literally Google it. It's maddening.
Well, I can tell you one thing. The excerpt of I hope you follow us in the green and gold. Look,
No!
I will follow the green and gold when you decide to get rid of being the owner. So that's what
I won't even do that.
I'll no, you know why? Because
if they're in Vegas, I'm not. I'm that's.
Oh yeah, no. If they're in Vegas, it's over. But what I'm saying is that if you decide to sell in between now, Sacramento, and before Vegas, I'm highly interested. You got my interest right on back because I want to know what the next step's going to be. But until then, you can go fuck yourself. I really don't care. Oh.
I think at the end of the day, the only I don't think anything's going to change. But if this really does piss you off, I have not purchased a thing from Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic in years.
Athleta
It's-
is the athletic one,
Right.
The
Don't-
athleisure one as well.
Don't
do
buy
it.
shit from this person.
Mhm.
Don't buy anything. You know, the hell with this guy. You know, and we were talking about it a little bit off air. We don't have as much information on it, but like, you know, what Arizona Diamondbacks are now doing is bullshit. What the Chicago White Sox are doing, and Jerry Reinsdorf with his multiple teams all asking for money from the city of Chicago, where all of these cities have other things to pay for, guys. You want to get rid of the homelessness? I understand where everyone is frustrated with the blight in major metropolitans. Okay. We're all frustrated with it. That costs money. That requires resources. We all want the roads paved and schools, and we all want a utopia, right? That all costs money. Do you want your money to go to a ballpark, or do you want your money to go to actual, you know, police departments, fire departments, homeless
Goods and
shelters,
services.
you know, like actual services? You know, there needs to be an in between. There needs to be a bargain. You know, somebody once told me a good compromise is we each get a little bit of what we want, but we each sacrifice to make this deal happen. It's not you get 100% of what you want and I get half of what I want. No, it's a 50-50 deal. We all compromise. We all make sacrifices for the greater good of the community and the greater good of the franchise. And the city of Oakland has been footing the bill of the Oakland A's by charging below market rate rent for decades.
Mhm.
The A's have paid virtually nothing in rent. Nothing. So you're not paying rent. You don't pay the players. It's not like you haven't spent money on nothing for the team. So where's the money? Where is all the revenue sharing? Because we know there are Forbes articles that say MLB has not lost a dime. They are not losing money. This information is out there and has been reported on. MLB is not losing money. So where is the money that went to the Oakland Athletics from revenue sharing? Because you're last in payroll. Where's the money going to? Chicago's on the same situation. Kansas City. None of these teams paid superstars. Where's the money? They pocketed it.
All of them did.
It's that
Every single one of them.
simple.
So.
Yeah, in his stupid fucking statement, at the end of one of the middle paragraphs, despite mutual and ongoing efforts to get a deal done for the Howard Terminal project, we came up short. You know how short he came up?
80
less than
million.
$100 million
Yep.
on a $12 billion project.
Yep.
Okay, the numbers, like we heard numbers as low as 36 million and as high as 97. Everybody agrees it was 8 digits or less. Like that's how close they were. And if you're talking about a $12 billion project, B, not M, B, $billion project. I did that in sign language for you people, you know, watching on YouTube. Then that's, you know, like
It's a drop
you
in the
should be
hat.
able to cover that if you're a billionaire, you know. And
John
we've ranted
Fisher-
about this.
John
Fuck this
Fisher could
guy.
have covered it. He could
Mhm.
have covered it if he's such a badass billionaire and has financing in place. He could have covered it. Or
Yep.
if you didn't want to cover it, you could have easily sold a very small percentage where there's a non-controlling stake to someone to
Mhm.
to close the gap easily.
Yeah.
You're talking 55 acres of waterfront property. You would have your own port, your own ferry. It's literally down the street from Jack London Square.
Yeah.
It's all built out. And the A's wanted 55 acres. The A's demanded that they develop all 55 acres. The city of Oakland was willing to meet them by parceling out. Let's give you the land for the stadium and some land around it that you can develop, that you're in control with. You don't need to develop all of this at once. No. We need all 55 acres. Now you're settling for fucking 5 acres in a stadium that you're going to rent. So fuck off, John Fisher. You're a liar. You're lying.
Howard Terminal is
You
not
lied.
happening because He didn't want it to happen.
He lied.
That's the long story short. And I think we need to
John
take
Fisher,
some blood pressure medication. Do we have some like pan flute music we can play to like bring our blood pressure down?
John Fisher was a co-owner of the Giants. He was a co-owner of the Giants. Him and his father were part of the ownership group to save the Giants from going to Florida. He was part of that group. But you don't give a shit about Oakland because since the moment you bought them, you've been trying to get them out of here. It was San Jose and Fremont. And then we all know Laney College was a smokescreen. Howard Terminal is a smokescreen. You never wanted them here. You're doing this for the Giants. You showed up to the A's versus Giants in Giants gear.
Yeah, he's a sorry sack of shit. We could go another hour onto this, but
we're already running a little late.
just to put a bow on this, we know what time it is. It's fuck John Fisher, as
That's right.
always. I do want to point out that we did say the Chicago White Sox are a fucking dog shit team. They have broke the record for the most losses in a single season.
Oh, did they play today?
Oh, no, wait. I don't know if they played today. I'm sorry. They tied.
They tied.
Yeah,
They're most likely going to break this fucking record.
Yeah, there's 6 games left. And they're not going to win out. So
and they're probably going to lose more next year.
If I told you the start of the season
scary.
that the A's were projected to win 44 games this year and the Chicago White Sox would break the record for losing, I would not think it would be the White Sox. I guarantee you that. On the other side of that, Shohei Ohtani becomes the first player to ever join the 50-50 club with 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. And before you ask, yes, I looked it up. He is currently at 53 home runs and 55 stolen bases as of right now. I have a question. Is he the greatest baseball player to ever play and not win a championship?
So far.
Would you put him as a Mount Rushmore of one of the greatest baseball players ever?
Absolutely.
I
mean, he can
I'm
hit.
leaning yes.
He's hitting and pitching. I mean, he's not pitching this year, but we've seen that he can pitch. Well, they've already said he's not going to pitch until next year.
Well, they said that don't rule out the playoffs.
I would not.
Situation.
No, I would not.
In a break glass in case of emergency situation, he might get an inning in the playoffs. But yeah, but to be fair, yeah, it's tough to make an argument against it right now. I think he's doing things we've never seen before. Between being an all-star pitcher and an all-star level hitter, and he's 50-50 was unheard of. Hell, when 40-40 was unheard of until Jose Canseco did it for the A's, back in the 80s. Again, circling back to not a current A's player that we talked about earlier. Anyway, so this is uncharted territory, and it's tough not to put him on the Mount Rushmore at this point. And all signs are pointing yes, I guess at this point. I don't know if I'm quite ready to do it, but I'm getting real close to it. Yeah.
Name someone better. Come on, Vince. Name someone better.
I don't want to. I haven't watched baseball at all this year, so I'm not in a place where I can come.
Isn't that crazy, dude? All the years that Vince, Vince and Tim, I could say like I've known you guys for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, we've known each other a long time, and we have not watched any baseball.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
It is absolutely bonkers. This is like if you'd have told me 5 years ago that I would go an entire year without watching one whole A's game, I'd have thought I'd have thought you're crazy. Like even the one A's game I went to earlier this year with my grandma and everything that I talked about, I took off and walked around the Coliseum for a little bit. I didn't watch the whole game. Like I was, I missed probably 3 or 4 innings in the middle of it. So, I mean, because I just don't care anymore. Yeah. So,
but I don't even watch the league at large.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't even watch the game of the weeks. I'm not watching Shohei. I hear about it and I'm like, wow, that's great.
Yeah. It breaks through
I don't watch it.
Sports world in general. That's the only reason why we know about it, is because it's just like little pieces that are so humongous. Those are the ones that break through.
Well, the
Yeah.
last piece here, because we're gonna have to wrap up time here, boys.
Yeah, we're
Um,
way over.
Gonzaga joins the Pac-12 today, despite not having a football team.
Well,
For
that's just
now.
for a basketball team, right?
They have a basketball
yeah,
team.
this is
They've
a
got one of the
basketball.
top basketball teams. It's the basketball move, but it's
Mhm.
interesting that there's a lot of other schools that have both. Maybe not as top as Gonzaga as far as a basketball powerhouse goes, but interesting move here. I don't know what that means and entail. Does that mean that Cal and Stanford are still on the docket should that situation
No.
arise, or
No,
Not for years.
2034 is
Yeah,
the soonest
years.
they can come back. Yeah.
right? What I'm saying is that if in that year, if the doors open, could they come back because they have football programs? Will
could.
it become the
I think they
Pac-13?
They could come back.
They-
I mean, they're not going to
there's a-
change the number anymore. They stopped changing the numbers when the Pac-10 became the Pac-12, and then but nobody else changed their numbers. Like the Big 10 and the Big 12 stayed their numbers, even though they were there's like 20 schools in the Pac-10 now at this point. I mean, the Big 10.
Yeah.
So they're not changing those numbers anymore. Yeah.
There's a chance I heard that the agreement could get broken sooner, but there's other schools that are in a legal battle, so they're waiting for that legal battle to get sorted out to see if they can get out. So
Yeah.
don't hold your breath.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Plus, the
well,
money's better.
everyone, just like the beginning to the end, you are listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into those DMs. We would love to interact with all you beautiful people.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.